Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking a very quick look at the XL Charcoal by Derwent. So this nice extra large charcoal. I have to admit I did fall for the marketing. I can't remember if it was Twitter or Instagram, but I saw a post for these from Derwent advertising them and I thought yes, I've got to give those a try because I like working quite quickly and quite expressively. So I thought these big charcoals would give me, you know, that freedom to do that really. So the 6 in the tin. I just tell you what it says on the front. So there we are, extra large charcoal, fine art charcoal blocks, professional quality. And I'll just read out what it says on the back. So Derwent Charcoal combines the natural qualities of charcoal with the strength and body of a chunky block. Soft meets strong, agile meets bold, from powerful lines to subtle gradients, the perfect blend of rich tones and organic marks. Available in 6 colours, naturally water soluble. So basically it's saying you can use them both, you know, to get some nice ranges of gradients and make very subtle pictures, or you can use them very boldly and get some nice strong lines, or obviously a combination of the two. So to begin with, we'll just get rid of this plastic wrapping. Now I don't really know why it needs this on. At the moment we're very sort of aware of how much plastic we're using and how much excessive packaging, and when something's in a nice strong tin like this, whoops, that was the backing, it really doesn't need all this plastic as well. So actually let's just, so that goes inside as well. You know, it's in a good strong tin. Maybe it needed a little bit of tape just to fasten it down to stop it coming open, but it really didn't need all that plastic around it. I'll just get rid of that. Okay, so a little bit more inside the tin. Oh, that's just about Derwent and the history of Derwent pencils. So nice robust tin that they've come in, and as we can see they are extra large. So we've got 6 colours. And it's actually written on, so that's quite nice. So we've got white, ochre, sanguine, Mars violet, sepia and black. And I'll just start with this Mars violet because that looks like a nice interesting colour. So hopefully we're going to be able to get some nice lines as well as some very good strong coverage. That's a really nice colour. So obviously you're going to need to work big and bold. You're not going to get very fine lines with these, but we're going to get some nice colours to blend. So we'll put some of the ochre in with that as well. Just have a bit of a play to begin with. So there, if we twist it, can you see how we're getting different lines? And some of the white. See how that goes on top of that darker colour. If you want to just clean that off, just do that elsewhere on the page. And I'll just give that a blow, and then we can do it blending some of these colours together. So this is just an ordinary practice cartridge paper, nothing fancy. And the colours there are blending quite nicely together. I like that ochre on top of that, it gives it a nice sheen. And the white, so you can see how you can blend the white in to give you some different tones. And let's have a look at the black. Nice strong black colour there. Which one haven't we used? So the sepia, this actually looks a bit green, but I don't suppose it's going to be green when we get it on the paper. Still does, yeah, it's a little bit sort of a greeny colour. It's not necessarily what I would call sepia. And sanguine, which is a bit of a red. Of course you can blend with your finger, but you can also use a paper blending tool if you don't want to end up with messy hands. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by a blending tool, this is a blending tool. This one's actually a Conte one, but lots of different brands make them. And basically it's paper wrapped around itself and then you sharpen the end. So you can see that's quite messy. I've used it quite a bit. But to clean it off, you can sharpen it with a pencil sharpener to take that end off and then get your nice back to nice white, or just clean it off on the paper or on a scrap of paper. And that just means you don't get messy fingers when you're blending the colours together. And actually, it's a much finer tool than your finger. You can sort of draw with it as you're blending as well, whereas with your your finger's much more clumsy. You can't get that fine point. So you can bring the colours out or mix the colours together. So there, where you've got those two, you can bring the ochre towards the black and the black towards the ochre, and just build up the layers, put more on top and work away with that. Just keep blowing the excess off. But you don't want to over blend things sometimes as well, because you might lose the colours or make the colours a bit too muddy. So it's all about practice and trial and error. Okay, so that's one way you can manipulate your charcoal once it's on the paper, as well as using your finger. I also thought I would just give the eraser a try with this and see how it goes on at lifting this charcoal off. So you can see how, although we're not going to get really back to completely white paper, it does lift it off a little. Even where we've got the black there, we can put some highlights in. Okay, so you can see how you can use an eraser with your charcoal, and again, where it's messy, get a scrap piece of paper and just clean it off before you use it on anything else. It's a good idea to have one eraser that you just use for charcoal and you don't use it for your pencil and other finer work. So it did say the naturally water soluble, which I'm assuming all charcoal is. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water on this, because of course it's only a cartridge paper, it's not a watercolour paper, so it won't take a lot of water, but just to see the effects you can get by adding a bit of water to the colour. You can actually again make some interesting lines, because where you leave the edge of the water, the charcoal sort of hangs along that edge and makes a nice crisp line. You can build up some quite rich colours as well. That's quite a nice rich colour now we've added the water to it. And it sort of alters the colours a bit, makes them a bit more of a wash, or a solid colour. Let's have a look at this. Which was this one? This was, oh, I've got it turned over. Should probably write these names down, because they're going to get, if we're using them on the side, these names are going to get worn away. So this was the sanguine. It's sort of lifting it off a little bit, is that water. So this is going to depend on how wet your brush is, how much water you add, as to how it affects the colour and how much it lifts it off. So yeah, really nice. Some nice colours there. 6 nice colours. I'll just try using that white again on top of some of this now that we've got more on the paper. Yeah, you can see how we can use that white on top of the others, and that's going to be quite successful in bringing some highlights back. So the white and the black obviously quite essential in your charcoal drawing, and these are sort of 4 additional colours that make it quite nice and interesting. This is a nice one to add a bit of light on the top as well. But really, they're not made for sitting at the table doing something tight work like this. They're made for standing at an easel with a great big piece of paper. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to try and think of something to draw with these on a big piece of paper at the easel, and I'll put the video of that on now. But overall, it's looking like I'm going to enjoy using these, because they're going to cover the paper really quickly. We can do something in a case of a few minutes and just do something quite expressive and quick. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. If you've got these and you like them, or you've got other favourite charcoals that you like, if you want to put about those in the comments below for other people to see, that would be really helpful. So thank you very much for joining me. Bye for now, and see you again soon. Hi, I'm just back again briefly to talk through what I've done. So basically this took about 20 minutes just playing. Like I said, the first time I've used these extra large charcoals, so I just wanted to get a feel for them, see what they can do. You can see you can very quickly get some very dark tones down, put down some blocks of colour, and then you can work into that with some nice expressive lines. So there wasn't much thought went into this. Like I said, just a very quick play with the materials really to see what they could do. So, and I think I used every colour in there more or less that we've got in the tin there. You'll see that the eraser wasn't very successful on them once I'd built up so many layers. The eraser was struggling to get it off, but the white is very successful at getting the highlights back, so you don't really need to worry about that too much, because for the little bit in the eye there, it's just the corner of the white. One thing I will say about them is they've gone down very quickly. They're very soft. And you'll see that the amount that was falling off the paper down onto the floor, and when I was blowing it off, that you're losing a lot. They're very soft, so they're soon going to wear down. You're soon going to need to buy some more. But having said that, I really do enjoy using them. They're nice and expressive and quick to use. Some really nice lines, a good variety of line in both the shape and the width of your line that you can get when you use them quite quickly. The reason for standing up using them at the easel with something like this, where you need to work big and bold and expressively, you need to be able to move your arm around. So standing at the easel is, you become much more free than you would sitting tightly at a desk. So I can always recommend that to use, to stand up to work and use a big piece of paper. So not the best portrait in the world, but like I say, just a quick go and play with the materials, and I quite enjoy doing it, and that's the main thing, isn't it? So once again, thank you for joining me, and I'll be back again soon.